Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of This Is Your Captain Speaking. Super excited to have in another interesting guest again today. Trinity Nguyen, who's the VP of Marketing at UserGems. Bit of background on Trinity. She loves all things SaaS marketing and sales, which is great because I also love all things SaaS marketing and sales. She has also over 10 years experience, including developing and executing go-to-market strategy, product marketing, demand generation, account-based marketing or account-based everything, and sales enablement. She's worked at a number of brands such as HP, Sysens, and now is the VP of Marketing at UserGems. So welcome.
Thanks, Andy. Happy to be here.
Sure. So tell me a little bit about what you guys do over at UserGems.
Yeah, so UserGems is a SaaS product. So we sell to sales and marketers, and we help with pipeline generation. So what we do is we monitor your buyers' job changes. So it could be your customers changing job, or a new executives joining your target account, or your target prospect just got promoted. Basically, all of these, the job changes are the triggers that helps with sales and marketing in terms of pipeline generation. So that's what we do.
Got it. So it's purely on job changes of people that are within the organization which you're targeting, or if your champion goes from one company to another company, you're also following that, right?
Exactly. So that's what people usually come to us for. Is like, I know that our persona changes their job every 18 to 24 months. How can I follow them to their new companies? Because these would be the warmest leads, faster sales cycle, and higher win rates. Interesting.
Volume SaaS play, or are you guys more focused on upper mid-market to enterprise?
So our ICP is in the mid-market. So I guess depends on like how you define mid-market. So mid-market for us is in the hundreds, and then to like lower like enterprise, SME. So up to about like 15,000 employees.
Got it. And what's your pricing model like?
Yeah, our pricing model is based on output. So we can track, monitor unlimited number of contacts, buyers, etc. that you want. And only when they change their jobs, that's when it becomes kind of like a lead. So it's like a cost per lead model. So that's how we price.
Interesting. Are you open with your pricing, or is it all custom pricing?
Oh, you mean like is our pricing on the website?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is on the website. Yeah, I think that all the parameter, like the starting ads, etc.
Got it.
It could change. Pricing is a tricky conversation, right? Because we want to align to the value. So that's why we change from input. A lot of companies like, price, but you want to track 1,000 people. This is a price, right? And then we're like, well, but that's not the value. The value is only when they change their job and becomes a lead for you. So that's why we change it to output based. But it takes a little bit of like explaining for people to get.
Pricing is a very, very tricky thing.
It is.
Like every company that I've worked with is pricing has always been a topic of conversation, or more than a topic of conversation, but it's always been a very, very challenging thing. And I've got like my thought process on pricing is you can either make really, really hard work out of it and go around the houses and discuss it for years and years, or you can simplify it and try to just, get on with it. I'm a bigger fan of the latter, but always focus on value-based. So depending on the product, right? But depending on the product, like if you're going high volume SaaS where it's almost like a B2C model, right? Then obviously pricing makes a big difference, right? It's a very it's a very transactional purchase typically with that, right? But if you're talking about going after that mid-market to, as you said, SME, to enterprise, the dollar value on like cost per lead or whatever, they're not focused on that. They're more focused on, okay, how can this thing maybe save, like how can this thing save me time? How can this thing benefit me, right? They're more focused on the benefits. They're used to paying larger contracts for technology. That's the thing as well. It's interesting. It's interesting.
It's tricky. And then a lot of the LinkedIn gurus and everyone wants to have simple pricing. Like me as a buyer, yes, I do like to have simple pricing when I buy. Having said that, it really depends. I would say like our company is in the SMB, like small business. So of course I want that. But if I'm running HP, I know that if I see a pricing that is too simple, I'm like, this product is not for me. You don't know my needs. because I'm pretty sure that my system is very customized and nobody has the same pain points I have, and I'm going to need more hand holding. So I think it depends on who you go after, and the pricing needs to be either simple or complex. So
yeah, fully agree with that, especially and to go on your point there, especially if you're chasing enterprise business, sometimes the more complex the better there.
exactly.
Because if it's oversimplified, then as you said, they'll be like, well, this is not the solution for us because maybe it's not customizable. It's like very much an impression thing, right? So first impression, you know. But it's an interesting conversation. But this sort of leads us then towards the product marketing piece. So I've seen from your profile that you've been a product marketer. So like you've been a product marketer at HP and also at SysSense. Two companies I know quite well. It's just tell us a little bit about like your experience there in product marketing, because even at SysSense, I can see that like you were the principal of product marketing and then also senior manager there. So you were like almost 2 years in a product marketing position there. And then you moved over to a head of marketing position now at UserGems, and since then became the VP of marketing. How has like, let's start a bit differently. The product marketing role to me is a very like undefined role nowadays. It's like nobody really knows what product marketers do, right? Including product marketers. Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
I think depends on who you ask. So in my mind, it's very clear in terms of like, if I have a perfect marketer, they would span their experience from very tactical to very strategic. And I kind of know what's in it. I mean, I spent a lot of years in this and also training other product marketers too. But when we talk to product marketers today, depending if they work for a large companies, they might only be exposed to one piece of that entire spectrum. So when they meet someone else who in a similar role and title, but that company put them in a different part of that spectrum, then when they met each other, they're like, oh, sounds like we're doing two different jobs. So it seems like it's undefined. It's just too broad. But you can do something like sales enablement. That's very tactical, doing like speaking at conferences, or you do product launches, or you go all the way to pricing and packaging or market research to define the product roadmap. So you can go like the whole shebang. So unless you are the first product marketer that kind of like build an entire team and scale with it, it's very rare to see a product marketer that actually experience from A to Z. So that's why.
Makes sense. So your point there, if I'm not mistaken, is that if you're building, or let's say if you have a fully fledged product marketing team, you will have different different marketers that are product marketers, but with different disciplines within that, for example.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, it's rare to see that entire team though, but I think like when you go into larger companies, you definitely see that.
In enterprise, you will, like in enterprise size companies, but if you're talking about tech, let's not say startups, scale-ups maybe, or even tech companies that are, I don't know, 100 million in revenue, their product marketing teams is maybe like 2 people. Exactly. And they're just like, we need product marketing because I heard it somewhere.
Right. And a lot of time, like, I mean, like, yes, when you in a scale up enterprise, you will see a full product marketing team, but it really depends on who sets the vision for that team. A lot of time the PMM job is created either because sales seems like we need enablement. I don't understand, my sales team cannot sell the product that just rolled out. So if that's the case, then the PMM that's being hired focus a lot on sales enablement. So very like on the tactical side. The second scenario is product manager doesn't have a bandwidth. So the head of products, like, we need a product marketing because my PM is busy working with the engineers and the sales team can't sell. So I need someone to help my PM's bandwidth. So that person focuses a lot on product launches. So it really depends on where you pulled in, who makes the loudest noise. But at the end of the day, you got to have the right, like either head of product or head of marketing that understand what PMM could do and structure the team that way to fully support the entire spectrum.
Got it. Okay. And how is that product marketing role, like, or those product marketing roles helped you in your current position? So, like, for example, my background is very much around demand gen, lead gen. And then I became VP and then I became CMO, right? That was my journey, right? So interested I know back then for me, it was like, I worked with quite a few of the teams across an entire marketing team, and I also helped build a marketing team. So I had some experience, but I'm interested with the product marketing piece, because it's obviously gone from like product marketing directly into head of marketing and then into VP. So you're on a good trajectory. So I'm just wondering how has product marketing helped you, or that discipline helped you in your current role?
I think so. For me, when I transitioned over, I kind of like the opposite experience you had. I had to teach myself demand gen side, but I think it helped because of product marketing, and I was fortunate to be in like at least twice building out the PM team, a part of the experience of building out. So I kind of see the whole thing about product marketing, and that means being like the connective tissue between marketing, product, and sales. So that was my job. So I was doing product launches, sales enablement, but also helping with like the voice of the market, win-loss, blah, 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 all that to help with like messaging and product roadmap. So it helped me understanding the entire go-to-market, so to speak, including the product team. And that helps with understanding when we go to market. When I joined UserGems as the first business hire, I didn't know demand. So I kind of like leaned back on my product marketing experience, like, who is our ideal persona? Who is our target, like ICP, ideal customer profile, the companies that we should go after? So all of that came from the product marketing muscles, really. And so we built out that list. So there's a lot more of that thinking and analytical upfront and analysis upfront to inform, like, these are the accounts list that we should go after. And that's how we've been going to market these days. All about ad spend, go like sales development, sales, always just within that specific parameter, to make sure that we don't waste resources to go after the ones that are not a good fit. So that's how it helped me at UserGems.
That's really cool. That's a good way of looking at things. And I think, yeah, regardless of what your discipline is, you're going to have to learn things. For me, I would say I'm relatively lucky that I focus on the demand gen piece earlier, because it's normally like a core problem for an organization. We don't have enough leads. You know, that's always like, it's always for, well, I can help you get more leads, and that's an easy enough sell, right? That was like that. I was relatively lucky that demand gen just sort of happened for me. But on your side, though, with the product market, it's a very good point around alignment with the sales org, right?
Yeah.
That then also lends itself very well to things like lead generation or demand generation, because if you don't have alignment between yourself and the sales org, then the stuff that you're bringing in is not going to be successful anyway. So, you know,
yeah, and I think like in this current environment, at least in the US, right, with the markets a little bit trickier with interest rate being higher, so there's less demand, less budget. So we actually pulling in customer success leader as well to get the feedback. Like, this is our ICP that marketing and sales think, but the customer success can bring in like, well, within the ICP, there's sub-segment that is not good long-term customers because of X, Y, Z. So that informs our ICP and basically restrained our ICP a little bit from that way. So that makes sure that whatever we pass over to the CS side, they will renew, and not like, oh, this is not a good fit, you know.
That's good. That's an additional layer of alignment between yourself and the CS team. That's CS being customer success. That's actually a very good point. And it also lends itself to also like focusing on the right ICP earlier, right? So like making sure that you're not bringing in shitty customers basically that are going to churn, right? Because sales, all a spade here, sales are going to sell, right? That's that's the thing, right? But like, what's more detrimental to the business? That's the important part. So I think it's pretty good. I think like with the current environment, they're kind of forcing us to do the right things, even though it's very painful. I mean, nobody wants to have stricter ICP criteria. I mean, I'm responsible for the revenue and the pipeline. So the bigger the ICP, the better. But seeing how things play out and kind of being in the position where you can see all the numbers that the business, like a healthy business should have, like the net retention, gross retention, all that stuff, it kind of helps you to make the right decision, even though it's painful sometimes. For sure. And then even if you're looking at valuations for the organization as well, like they're the things that investors care about, or companies that are looking. If you're in a company that's looking for an exit, for example, and your churn rate is enormous, then you know that's ultimately going to be painful to everybody in the organization, because especially if they've got a bit of skin in the game,
Right.
you know, like
yeah, and it's not just about like whether like you're like investor backed or whatnot. It's just like healthy business, right? Like you want to have a healthy run rate.
yeah,
Like
for
so
sure.
like doing the right thing means you waste less resources. That means you have more money in the bank. That means you're going to survive this a little bit longer than other people, et cetera, et cetera. So
Sure. No, it's interesting. I currently I work with an SDR team, so a sales development rep team, and like they're hungry to go after everything, right? So, but I need to need to keep them on a leash almost, you know. And I made a bet with one of them recently. So somebody came in, and this is for a company that sells the contracts are in around 100K a year, give or take, right? So relatively chunky size deals, right? And somebody had come in and they closed within 6 days, right? So normal sales cycles
for
are
100K,
like,
that's pretty
for
good.
100K. Hold on though. So like so the sales cycles are normally like 6 to 9 months, right? And like I said, like the SDR kind of be like, a deal that came in by me, you know, is a demo request that got transferred to him, right? Deal that came to me that I managed to secure the meeting for, whatever, it's after closing 100K, whatever. And I was like, that's great. Like, oh, congratulations. Like, tell me more about the deal. He's like, oh, you know, it came in super quick, Andy. It was like, they came in and then 6 days later they signed the contract. And I said, red flag. They are going to churn. That is the most churnable account that we've ever signed. You know, somebody that's super excited and shut up and take my money does not know enough about your product and all of the ins and outs of what it takes to implement your product, etc. To in order to stick with it on the long term while they try to get like things up and running. And we also don't know enough about you. Like we don't know if you have the team to look after the implementation. We're just like, oh, quickly, give me your money. It's all good, you know? So
it's true. Like the fact that you mentioned that, and I totally agree because we've seen that too. That means we've been around the blocks too many times.
Too many times.
It is so true. So many times where we had in the good old days where like money was cheap. We definitely seen like some of those scenarios. And then like afterward is when like data security, legal kind of jump in, like, hold on.
Exactly.
Where were we in the buying process? So yeah.
Exactly. What questions did you ask in the qualification?
Exactly.
Oh, we didn't do any qualification. They wanted to buy, so we sold, you know? So super interesting. Tell us a little bit about like how you guys, like here's a term that we always use in tech, but about eating your own dog food, right?
Or drinking your own champagne. Make it fancier.
Drinking your own there you go. Well, drinking your own champagne. So tell me about like how you guys at UserGems drink your own champagne.
Yeah, we the marketing team. So my marketing team has both like the typical marketing functions, but also the SDR function. We call it account development reps, ADRs. So we're the power users of the UserGems products actually since day one, because it kind of helps us generate our own pipeline. So for us, we track our own customers, like the buyers, like the close one opportunity contact, get nerdy and technical about it. But also like admin and power users, but we also track our close loss prospects when they change their jobs. Because if you think about it from the marketing standpoint, these are the people that already went through the buyer journey from awareness, consideration, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a lot warmer than any cold lead. So we've been doing it since 4 years now. And this motion is about 12 to 17% of our sales accepted pipeline every month. It's been like that forever. So that's one way we do it. We automate the whole thing. So it's when this job change leads happen, they automatically get put into a sales outreach sequence, depending on their relationship with us and what type of job they have now. And it's just automatic. Like our SDR, our rep doesn't have to touch or do anything. And people reply because this is someone that already know you. Like you send them a gift, like, hey, congrats on your new job. Here's a little gift, you know, stay in touch. You don't ask for a sale. So you're trying to be very human about it. And we get easily like 25% response rate on those. And this is completely automated. That's the crazy part. So that's one way we do it. On the other hand, we use it for our own like revenue account-based like ABM programs. We prioritize ICP accounts that have our job changers. like our previous customers and previous prospects. We also prioritize accounts that like have new executives that just joined, because these are all trigger moments that they have budget, they have things they have to get done. So that's a good way to reach out. So we prioritize those for our ABM programs, and we go after them when those triggers happen.
Nice. That's really super interesting. I think you might have a prospect here, by the way. So I'm gonna have to look into this, because I think this is very helpful. But so maybe we'll follow up after this, because I'm definitely interested. You mentioned gifting.
My team might follow up with you after this when they listen to the podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, sure. So no worries. The gifting you mentioned there as well. Are you guys using a tool for that?
Yeah, we use postal.io. So they like a very easy product to use, approachable pricing as well. And they just became our customer also. So what I really like about them, so like a lot of gifting platforms out there, but what I really like about them is they have this smart link or magic link concept where you, as an admin, you can set up different like gifts for different triggers. And then those links you can put programmatically into like marketing, email nurture, or like SDR outreach. So the reps doesn't have to think about what gift do I send this person. It's basically automatic and put in there. So you can just manage the budget at a high level. I don't know why other platforms don't have it. I've been asking for it, but this one has been the reason why we stay with Postal for years now.
Look into Reach Desk. They offer that.
Oh, they have that too. I did evaluate them a while back. I did not have that. They've been following up with me.
Let me know if you need an intro. I know we're very friendly. We're very friendly with the guys over at Reach Desk. So if you need an intro, you just need to let me know.
Thanks, Andy. Like, oh no, after when this podcast goes live, my inbox gonna.
Oh, we're gonna. But it's not only gonna be you; it's gonna be me as well. So so at least there's two of us in it. But hey, look, we're right on time now, Trinity. It's been really nice speaking with you, and thanks so much for your time. Yeah.
No, absolutely. It's been really fun. I love this conversation.
For sure. Tell me, look, before we finish up, where can people find you and where can people find UserGems?
UserGems is usergems.com. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn. A little bit too much.
Yeah, I know the feeling. So you've also got that addiction. Good to know. To know. Good. Okay, well, thank you so much, Trinity. Guys, this has been another episode of This Is Your Captain Speaking. We'll see you again next week for more great content. Trinity, thank you so much. It's been great speaking.
Thank you.